So John Harbaugh is doing what I like to call John Harbaugh things. And here's why it really pisses me off, and I don't want to scream and I don't want to get amped up. It's gotta be said. Little late night double college football upload. What's going on, everybody? Hope you're having a great night. I'm having a great night. You know why? Because every single day that passes by, we get slightly closer to the sport we love the most. Was that too energetic? I don't know, but let me calm down and let's get down to business because we gotta jump straight into it. We got not one, not two, not three, but 4 different topics to get into tonight. We're gonna talk about some of the quarterback battles going on at some of the biggest schools in the country, and it's either gonna make or break your season. The 2 main topics we're gonna dive into, though, is number 1, the Michigan quarterback battle. It's one of the strangest things I've ever seen before. Now that I think about it, I don't know if I've ever seen it before. And number 2, we got to talk about an Alabama player getting disrespected already. You would think out of every school for a player to get disrespected, the last school it would be for is Alabama, right? I mean, come on now. Everybody says ESPN loves Alabama and they always cater towards their players. In this situation, and you're going to see exactly what I'm talking about, that is not the case, and it is beyond disrespectful in my humble opinion. We've got a lot to get into and go over. No intro, none of that. If you like college football, it's rather simple. Go down there, hit that subscribe button. We are on the road to 1 million. And if you don't want to subscribe, that's cool too. Now let's get into it. Woo! Man, oh man, where shall we start out? And I'll say we take a look at this first, because I don't see too many people talking about it. It was announced that TJ Finley has won the quarterback battle at Auburn over Zach Calzada. I'm not too exactly sure how I feel about that, because last year, there was a lot of ups for TJ Finley, and there was also a lot of downs. I mean, he had that one game against Georgia State where he came in for Bo Nix and had the game-winning touchdown. However, you got to bring up the bad with the good. There was a lot of times where you saw him throw, and you're like, okay, what is he doing? I don't think anybody's going to argue with me saying this. He's not the most accurate passer I've ever seen. Another reason it's hard to judge him, because if you watch that Alabama game, he was pretty much playing at what, 50, 60%? The dude was limping out there, and he gave it his all. I think the best way to describe it is he's wishy-washy. You don't know what you're going to get out of him. All in all, I don't think it matters because Auburn's not going to have a good year anyways. It doesn't matter if you have Zach Calzada at quarterback or TJ Finley. I'd be shocked if they won 8 games. Auburn fans, I know we got some of you listening to this, so let me know in the comment section. Who would you rather be your starting quarterback, TJ Finley or Zach Calzada? If I was the Auburn head coach right now and I had to win 1 game and pick my starting quarterback, I think I'd flip a coin. It really doesn't matter. Zach Calzada, whatever you want to call him, and TJ Finley, it's 1A, 1B. Both of them aren't great, and both of them have their ups, and they have their downs. I am curious about that. Let me know your thoughts down below. But moving on to our second topic of this video, ironically, it's also another quarterback battle. Texas A&M announced that Haynes King will be their starter. I'm not going to spend too much time talking about this. I did anticipate him to win the starting job because last year he won it until he got hurt. I don't know what to expect out of Haynes King. He only played in about 5 or 6 quarters last year before he got hurt. From everything I've heard, people were raving about him last year. Like I said, he got hurt. Honestly, from everything I've seen, I know it was only a game and a half. He didn't impress me too much. To go along with that, he's also coming off an injury, and there's a ton of pressure on any quarterback for A&M right now. You can make a legit case and argument that out of every school in the country to have the most pressure on a quarterback, it's got to be A&M. A&M has some heavy expectations, and as we all know, you can only go as far as your quarterback can take you. Best of luck, Haynes King, and best of luck against Alabama, because them boys, Will Anderson and Dallas Turner, they're going to be coming. Moving on to our third topic, which one shall we go with? The Alabama one? I just say we talk about the Michigan one first because it's also a quarterback battle. So John Harbaugh is doing what I like to call John Harbaugh things. He has announced that Cade McNamara, who was a starter all throughout last year, he's going to start week 1, but in week 2, J.J. McCarthy, he's going to start. Maybe this has been done before and I just can't remember, but I think this is the first time I've ever witnessed this. So pretty much if you don't know why he's doing this, basically whoever plays the best, they're going to be the starter throughout the season. Is it unconventional? Yes. Is it strange? Yes. But I also like this. Most of you know I'm not a John Harbaugh fan and I'm not a Michigan fan, but I would argue and say this is honestly the best way you can do this. I've always hated the idea of having a quarterback battle at the beginning of the season because whoever winds up starting or whoever is playing at that given point in time, they're always looking over their shoulder. Looking over their shoulder, Matt. Get your words right. Looking over their shoulder. You get what I'm trying to say. That's how it goes 99% of the time. The guys that are battling out, they can't even focus on the game because they're too worried about not messing up. And it happens with any school that does this. I've seen cases and scenarios where even quarterbacks for Alabama, they mess up one time or have a couple of bad drives and they never get another opportunity and they wind up having to transfer. And these quarterbacks are aware of this, so they're sitting there going, okay, I don't need to mess up and I don't need to throw an interception, when in reality, you just need to focus on doing your job and having fun. With John Harbaugh doing this, at least Cade McNamara in that first game, he won't be scared to lose his starting job and he's looking over his shoulder because he knows he's going to play all throughout the game. Same thing for J.J. McCarthy in the second game. He's not going to be worried about messing up and getting pulled out of the game. It's awesome you can do this, and it's also beneficial to Michigan because you're playing 2 cupcakes in your first 2 weeks. I don't know if you caught Hawaii's game in week 0, but let's just say it wasn't too pretty. Vanderbilt, one of the sorriest programs in NCAA history, beat them 63-10. If I was J.J. McCarthy, I'd be licking my chops right now because there's no excuse for him to not throw over 5 or 6 touchdowns. Personally, I don't like Cade McNamara. He'll never win you a championship. I think if you want to win a championship, you're going to have to go with J.J. McCarthy. It's just a simple option. It's the same thing that Dabo Swinney did with Trevor Lawrence and Kelly Bryant. Yes, Kelly Bryant is good enough to win you the games you're supposed to, but he's not going to take you over that leap and bound to win a championship like Trevor Lawrence could, and that's why Dabo Swinney moved on from him. He didn't do nothing wrong. He just knew that Kelly Bryant could have won him a championship. Same thing with Nick Saban, what he did with Jalen Hurts and Tua Tagovailoa. Jalen Hurts was a good college quarterback. Tua was just slightly better and could take Alabama over that hump. When you're a college football head coach, you got to make tough decisions like that, and John Harbaugh, I think he should roll with McCarthy. Moving on to our last and final topic, the main topic, the main encore, the main reason you clicked onto this video. I got to show you a picture. I saw this picture Saturday on College Game Day, and I was like, wait a minute, what is this? This is a picture of the preseason Heisman favorites. At number 1, you got C.J. Stroud over Bryce Young, and I'll talk about that in just a second. You get Caleb Williams, Travion Henderson, and Will Anderson at number 5 and Jahmyr Gibbs under him. So you got 3 Bama players out of 6. Not too bad. Here's what blows my mind, and I think most of you know where I'm about to go with this. Will Anderson is the best college football player in the country, and it's not just going into this year. He was the best player in the country last year. He should have won the Heisman Trophy last year. And it's not just me who thinks this. It's everybody with a functional brain. Let me show you what these 2 guys on ESPN had to say, David Pollock and Kirk Herbstreit.
If Will Anderson didn't get it last year, what does he have to do this year? I mean, he was clearly the best player in college football a year.
Best player in college football last year, the best player in college football this year.
Oh, that's interesting. So if y'all want to say Matt's being biased, well, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't Herbie, he went to Ohio State? Didn't David Pollock? He went to Georgia, right? Ohio State and Georgia alumni, they're not too fond of Alabama. So when your own alumni are even saying that last year that Will Anderson should have won the award and he was the best player, I don't know what more you need. And here's why it really pisses me off, and I don't want to scream and I don't want to get amped up. It's gotta be said. If you want to have a debate about who's the better quarterback, C.J. Stroud or Bryce Young, we can have that debate. I am fine with that. Although I would take Bryce Young. If you want to say C.J. Stroud's better than him, I have no problem with that. But when it comes down to who the best player in the country is, there's no debate and there's no argument about it. It's about the same as saying 2 + 2 is 4. We can't have a debate because it's a cold hard fact. I'm going to emphasize this all throughout the video. Will Anderson was the best player in the country last year. He got robbed of the Heisman last year by his own teammate. But to go on top of that, and I'm not going to let people forget about this, he didn't only just not win it last year, he wasn't even invited to the show. They invited that, and I'm not going to call him a bum. He was a great player, but he wasn't even near the level of Will Anderson, Aiden Hutchinson for Michigan. That's fine. If you want to bring defensive players, I'm cool with it, but Will Anderson was on a far superior level than Aiden Hutchinson, respectfully. There's no reason to rant about that. Long story short, he doesn't win the award this year, but now they're already putting him at, 5th on the list? I don't understand it. I really don't. What more does Will Anderson need to do? The only way he would even have a chance of winning it is if he played running back for Alabama, and that's the only thing I can think of. He's going to have 20 sacks and 20 rushing touchdowns, and he still might not win it. And I don't want to say the Heisman, I don't respect it, because I do, but I think it's slightly losing its integrity. And the reason for that, because I would say about 9 out of 10 years, a person who wins it, they should win it, but there's always that one year where a guy on defense or a wide receiver, they're really the best player in the country, but they don't win it. And for that 1 year that we have about every 9 or 10 years, that's why I don't respect the Heisman as much as I used to. And let's talk about the Stroud and Bryce Young thing, because I told you I'm going to bring it up, and this also goes to prove to you as to why the award, it's almost a joke at this point. Who did everybody vote the best player in the country was last year? Bryce Young, right? He won the Heisman. Well, how in the heck do you think he was the best player in the country last year, and already he's behind C.J. Stroud? theoretically speaking, if you thought he was the best player in the country last year, he should be number one. I don't care if it's betting odds. I don't care if it's preseason rankings. Bryce Young should be at number one on the Heisman list because he won it last year. And that's not me trying to hype up Bryce Young. That's just a fact. If y'all thought he was the best player in the country last year, what's going to change going into this year? The award is laughable. Can somebody please explain to me in the comment section how Will Anderson isn't even just in second or third place right now? He's fifth. I'm going to end the video off with this. If you didn't think Will Anderson was the best player in college football last year, I think you're stupid. But if you don't think he's the best player in college football going into next year, which is this year coming up, you're a complete moron. It's not even close. Look at the numbers. Put on the film. This guy changes the game. It's not even close, and that's what pisses me off to the max. I am very curious. Let me know your thoughts down below. But, Roto Wembley!